Hello, I'm Lisa Shanken, and certified health coach, certified personal trainer, and cooking instructor. And my company is called Try Wellness. If you can hear me, just let me know by saying yes, or if you can't for some reason, let me know that too. And today I am going to talk to you about chopping so you can chop efficiently and be in and out of the kitchen quickly. We're going to do onion and garlic. And before I even start to talk about chopping, we should begin with the knife. So I'm going to tilt you down a little bit so that you can see, whoops, sorry about that, so that you can see what I'm talking about here. So I have 3 different knives in my kitchen and I use them all of the time. These are the 3 and I'm going to describe each one of them and tell you why I like each one. So this is a ceramic knife. It is so sharp. When you touch a knife to your nail, that's how you can tell if it's sharp, if it sticks a little bit. And this ceramic knife is one of my favorites because with ceramic knives, they never lose their sharpness and you don't have to sharpen them. So that's why it's one of my favorites. And it cuts really well. But the thing that's not amazing about it is because it's ceramic, it's a little more flimsy than steel knives. So I don't like to use it on anything that's really hard to cut through. Like, it's really good for softer vegetables and things like that, but for something really hard like a squash or something, I would not choose this. The next knife I want to show you is, this was the first chef's knife I ever owned, so it does have a special place in my heart. But it's just a regular classic 8-inch chef's knife. The reason I like it is because it's heavy and sturdy and it can cut through anything. It's very sharp. I touch it to my fingernail, as I said, because that tells how sharp it is. And you can pretty much cut through anything that's really tough to cut. Like, I'll show you an example. A spaghetti squash or a pumpkin, those are really hard to cut, and I'll always use this knife for that. The next knife, and I'll admit this is my very favorite one. This is called a santoku knife because it has these ridges here, which is different than a serrated knife, which is what you use for bread. This knife also you can sharpen, and it's very sharp right now. And the reason I love this knife is because it's got a 7-inch base and it's very lightweight. So I use this knife the most because it's so light, but it's so strong and sharp, so it can cut through so many things. So I always tell people, if there's one kitchen tool you are going to invest in, I strongly suggest it being a good knife. Because with one good knife, you can do everything. Kitchen gadgets are fun and great to have, and you can do lots of funny, silly things with them, but everything can be done with one kitchen knife. So the best thing to do is to go to a store and really feel how they are in your hand. And always use this wrist motion here that I'm doing, like this, because that's how you cut when you cut properly. So if something feels good in your grip, if the weight of it feels good, you'll know. I had never had a knife before I had this one, which was, like I said, my first chef's knife, and it's really heavy, but then I didn't even know enough to know, I mean, we're talking about 20 years ago, I didn't know enough to know that they could be so many different weights and feels, but it just goes to show you, I still do love this knife, and I had it 20 years ago, and it's lasted perfectly, and I have a special stone, which I'll do on another broadcast sometime, to show you how you can sharpen it at home. You can bring it to a professional sharpener too, but it's really not necessary. Okay, so let's get started, okay? Today I'm going to show you how to chop. So I am going to just move you down here so you can see my chopping board. And here's the thing about chopping that's really, really important, okay? Your fingers, when you chop something, should always be up against the food you're chopping. This protects you from cutting them. If there's a blunt edge of your finger rather than just chopping off your finger, you're much less likely to cut yourself. So we'll start with an onion. And with an onion, it always has this annoying skin on it. So the way to cut that, to get rid of that first, you cut the side of the onion that basically used to be, this was the part that the roots came from, the opposite side. You cut that, cut it right off, trash that, and then the part that had the root on it, you want to cut that in half. Then, once you do that, it becomes much easier to just very simply peel off the skin all at once. Much more efficient, and we're all about efficiency here. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is, we have our onion here, see? I'm going to do it facing you. Okay, so the next thing is, you're going to cut in layers across the top, because we're trying to get a chopped onion. The more surface area an onion has in a dish, the more flavor it's going to have. So you want to chop it as small as you can, especially for soups, stews, things like that. Okay, when you want to give something flavor. So you've cut the 3 layers there. Now you want to cut there. Now that I've cut kind of like a crisscross, the next thing I'm going to do, again, remember, your fingers want to be like this so you don't cut them. Boom. My onion is cut. Now, this is a very small onion pieces. You can already consider this chopped, but if something calls for something to be really super finely diced, the next thing you're going to do is it's all in the wrist. You hold the top part of the not sharp edge of the knife down, and then you just quickly go. Boom, 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 boom. And that's it. My whole onion is cut already. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that over, and see? My eyes didn't even start tearing yet. I'm going to move that over behind us, because the next thing I'm going to show you is how to do garlic, and that's very similar. I'm getting another chopping board. Okay, so the first thing about garlic is that it's very annoying to peel the skin. So I'm going to show you a quick little trick on how to peel the skin. You take your garlic, you take one clove out of the bulb. You take a can that has an airtight seal. You put it in the can. This is a great little trick. You shake it for 15 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so it was in the airtight seal container, and I shake it, and then the skin pops off really easily. You don't even have to try and fuss with it. See? The skin's already popped off, no problem. Boom. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is show you how to cut the garlic efficiently. And it's a very similar way I'm going to get you a little closer up so you can see a little bit better. If you can't see, just give me a comment and let me know. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing we did with the onion. You're going to cut thin layers. Okay, after you cut thin layers, you're going to cut the opposite direction. Now I have like a grid. Put your fingers like that so you don't cut them, and just chop. Boom, I have chopped garlic. That took me less than 30 seconds. And if you want to chop it even further, same thing as the onion. You just all in the wrist. Keep your finger on the top edge of the non-sharp side. And boom, I have minced onion now. Great for soups and stews. And one last thing I want to tell you is that a little trick, when you cut garlic, it always stays on your fingers and it's hard to get off, even with soap. If you cut a lemon and rub the lemon on your fingers, boom, garlic flavor on your fingers gone. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Let me know if you have any questions. You can find me at lisashanken.com. Like I said, I'm a certified health coach, personal trainer, and healthy cooking instructor. So you can visit my website for great recipes, workouts, cooking tips, and nutrition information. I appreciate all your heart, so thank you so much. And I broadcast on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays around this time, so be on the lookout. And Wednesday, you can look forward to my Wednesday workout. So I hope you join me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.